If I were to ask you about Europe and dictatorship in the 20th century, you'd probably think of Adolf Hitler in Germany or Benito Mussolini in Italy. And if you're even more aware, you might think of the communist dictatorships in Eastern Europe after the Second World War. But if I asked you, can you name a country in Western Europe that was a dictatorship far beyond the Second World War, would you be able to tell me which country? This is a country which was ruled by secret police, a dictator who never held elections, and a revolution so peaceful the soldiers carried flowers instead of guns. This is not fiction. This is the story of Portugal and how it fell into dictatorship, then broke free without firing a single shot. In 1910, Portugal overthrew its monarchy and became a republic. But the new democracy was a mess. 16 different governments in just 6 years. Violence in the streets and complete political chaos. So in 1926, the Portuguese military said, "Enough!" They took power in a coup. No more elections, no more democracy. Out of the chaos emerged a man who would reshape Portugal for nearly 40 years. Antonio de Oliveira Salazar, a quiet religious economics professor who soon became Prime Minister. Antonio de Oliveira Salazar. In 1933, he created a new authoritarian regime called the Estado Novo, the new state. It looked something like fascism. Censorship, secret police, no free speech, no opposition. Portugal was not fighting in the Second World War, but inside its borders, the war on freedom in Portugal was very real. Salazar ruled with an iron grip until a stroke took him out of power in 1968. But his replacement Marcelo Caetano kept the regime going. What really began to shake things was something far from home: Portugal's stubborn grip on its colonies in Africa. While the rest of Europe decolonized, Portugal fought bloody wars in Angola, Mozambique, and Guinea-Bissau. Young Portuguese men were drafted, sent overseas, and died in a war nobody wanted. Back home, the economy was limping. People were fleeing the country and protest was bubbling under the surface. Then came 25th April 1974, a day every Portuguese person remembers. A group of army officers, fed up with war and the regime, launched a peaceful coup. But here is the twist. There was no bloodshed. As people poured into the streets, they handed carnations to the soldiers, who placed them in their rifles. That's why it is called the Carnation Revolution. A dictatorship which fell without a single bullet fired. Salazar's regime was gone and Portugal was finally free. By 1976, Portugal had a new democratic constitution. Colonies gained independence, free elections returned, and the Portuguese people stepped into a new era. Not through war, but through unity, resistance, and a flower. Portugal's story is a rare one in history, a reminder that revolutions don't always need blood. Sometimes all it takes is a carnation. If you learned something new, hit that like button and subscribe for more untold stories that I will repeat from history. What should we cover next? Drop your suggestions in the comments. See you in the next one.